Well, we're still at Nile TV International, our today's edition of the Breakfast Show, and it's really historic day in which we are celebrating the 5th annual Egypt's Nuclear Power Day, and which coincides actually today with the installation of the reactor pressure vessel from Russia today, which is a very crucial and critical phase of the Daba nuclear power plant, and which will be witnessed by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and the Russian counterpart, His Excellency Vladimir Putin. Well, to shed more light on this, on the magnificent and the magnitude of the planet, the Daba planet, and the importance and significance of this, not only for the present time but also for the future, and how it will be support Egypt to reach the self-sufficiency of electricity and even to export. Well, we are delighted to be joined over the phone by our prominent guest, His Excellency Ambassador Raouf Saad, our Egypt's former ambassador to the Federation of Russia and former Assistant Foreign Minister. Very good morning to you, Your Excellency.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yes, great having you on such a historic day, which will be celebrating the installation today, first of all, of the pressure vessel of the reactor or Daba planet. How you just first assess the importance of this phase of the Daba power plant, nuclear plant?
Well, I would like to thank you because with your very elaborate introduction, you have saved me a lot, because you have mentioned so many facts that I would have said in favor of what's happening today. But I want to look at it from a different perspective.
Sure.
First, it's no question that the nuclear planet will add incremental, huge capacity and energy capacity to Egypt's possibilities for the future. This is it's something well established. Second, I think we'll leave technicalities for the technicians. All right, but let me put it from the perspective of the Russian-Egyptian relationship. If you look at it historically, I mean, I have served, twice. And once as deputy ambassador in Moscow, Soviet Union, and as an ambassador in Moscow, Russia. So I have, in a way, a better feeling, about how the Russians look at us. Yeah. They, when they decided to build the high dam, right, which they remember till today, the high dam was at that time the largest dam in the world, and that reflected not only a technical innovation rather than a political one, because if you provide a country which you didn't have, at that depth of relationship, the highest dam in the world, so this is not only benefiting Egypt, but will benefit also the Soviet Union at that time, in order to open up to the Middle East. And I think with the experience of, since, the 50s, I think the Russians realized with their very sophisticated diplomacy that Egypt is like an revolving door, because this, if you want to get into the Middle East, it's through Egypt. And if you will exit the Middle East, you will be always through Egypt. So that was a very important. Then, before the high dam, you have this kind of deal, the military deal, which again was at the beginning of a strategic relationship between Egypt and Soviet Union, and later on with Russia. Now, the timing of the event of today is politically very important at a time where the region is going, the Middle East, is going through very difficult and crucial time, and there are prospects for establishing peace with the kind of efforts that will be mentioned in history by Egypt, and that was the country that was able to stop migration and to maintain the Palestinian cause from being liquidated.
Yeah.
And while Russia is very much involved in the Ukraine war, so and is not in a position to contribute as they would like to, to the efforts going on in the Middle East. But this will be an event with an international perspective, a revival that Russia is not far away from the Middle East. Russia is there, and again, they know that when you cement the relationship with Egypt, then that would cement Russia's role in the Middle East itself. So on the other side, Egypt, we have to look at how the foreign policy of Egypt is being formulated and being elaborated over the time. Because, while you are opening up with all countries of the world, the United States, EU, other countries, Japan, whatever, all right, you are not just putting Russia on a lower level. It means that we have a foreign policy which expands its interest locations all over the world, and that would lead by definition to lessening the kind of concessions or balances that Egypt used to have in the past, between being cornered between Moscow and Washington. So I think this is very important. It's not just a technical issue, although it's very important technically, but it is a significant political development that reflects that the two countries are very much determined to continue their high-quality relationship, that is based on major foundations, politically, technically, economically, so on and so forth. And let's not forget that, economically, that even the relationship is being, increasing. You know that Egypt was one of the largest buyers of Russian wheat, in addition to so many other industrial, products. So the event should be looked at beyond the technicalities. It is a very significant political event that is in favor of both countries equally.
Exactly, indeed, as you mentioned, Your Excellency, it's beyond political relations and beyond even the economic benefits, and for the two peoples as well. And that's why when we talk in particular about the coming over to the Daba power plant or nuclear power plant, it's been built analog to the one in Leningrad. So, and Rose Atom is really committed to deliver and supply the fuel for the Daba power plant project for the life cycle. So when we talk about, yes, Your Excellency, I would like here to ask about the this power plant. I mean, Daba power plant is really getting us to be to approach the power or the electricity self-sufficiency and to export afterwards. Also, it comply fully with our sustainable development vision of 2030, and to approach to get to contribute to 42% of the renewable energy at that time. How you also, what's your take on this?
Well, you left me nothing to say. Just what bless all what you have just said, because the plant, nuclear plant, again, it's not just an energy plant. It is impartial of the overall Egypt strategy for the future, for making progress, for continuing, and that we will just bring your economy, up in order to act on a different much higher level. And that's how that maybe sometimes people don't appreciate that that you are going through difficulties, economic difficulties. But the fact is, without difficulties, that means that you have no reforms, or you are not building for the future. So I always say that sometimes people have their critical point of view, which is welcome and normal, But in terms of since that to 2014, there was fundamentally a new effort in order to reform the Egyptian economy and the social life. And it's a fact that, you know, mistakes is only normal. But I would say that there were mistakes, but there were no sins. You see, there is a difference between mistakes and sins. So mistakes could be in priorities, in applying here and there.
But sins are not to be forgiven.
Exactly. So I think this is the responsibility of media, all right, to elaborate for the people. You know that there are so many things, and what I would add, that I think transparency from the government side is very important, because it's only, I mean, we can see with all, we have to admit it, that the President Sisi is means all the time in order to elaborate, to explain to the people, all right? But we need that the whole government, should accelerate and maximize their efforts in order to deepen the sense of transparency, particularly that you are dealing with a very smart people. The Egyptians are very smart people, and let them understand, and then you can see the kind of power that the Egyptians have been, adding, to the government's and the president's efforts in order to change the present and the future of Egypt. Exactly, changing the present and shaping the future, as you said, for the next coming generation. It's a dream actually came true with the strategic vision of the political leadership, and of course it's our duty in here as a media outlet to shed more light about all such facts or such developmental projects or mega projects that are taking place or being implemented nowadays. And also with our prominent guests, just like Your Excellency, Ambassador Raouf Saad, Egypt's former ambassador to the Federation of Russia, and former Assistant Foreign Minister. Many thanks for your insights and for being with us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, short break, and we'll be right back.